Welcome to this episode of Digital Energy AI Dialogues with me, Julian Walker, Director of Communications at Digital Energy AI. Today, we're exploring a powerful and often overlooked driver of AI transformation, storytelling. Because transformation isn't just about algorithms or data infrastructure. It's about building trust, shifting mindsets, and connecting people to the possibility of AI. Joining me today, I've got a great wealth of experience around this issue. I've got Carsten Sonne-Schmidt, Managing Partner at Digital Energy AI. I've got Dr. Chris Cooper, Technology Guru. And finally, and but not least, Reem Haroun, founder of the 362, a strategic consulting dedicated to bridging gaps via storytelling. Thank you all for joining me.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Now let's start with the bigger picture. I'm going to start with you here, Chris. Talk to me about why storytelling plays such a critical role in AI transformation.
To my mind, it's simple. As soon as you started talking to people about AI, it was like rabbit in headlights. So for me, it was about using storytelling to change that mindset. And remember, AI is a journey. So as we start then to change that mindset, we need to keep on that journey and keep them interested and keep storytelling how things are changing and evolving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Reem?
I totally agree with you. But to me, I think storytelling is about inviting people to be part of the story with you, right? So if we were to learn from the younger generation of millennials and Gen Zers and the term they say, which is FOMO, which is fear of missing out, if they are not part of the story, if you don't make them so interested in being part of this club where they are part of the narrative, then they're not going to buy into the story. And to really make them play a part of the narrative, you need to give them an impression where they're going to look good being part of this. Because AI without storytelling is automation. Nobody
True.
wants that, right? People are scared of automation because it might take their jobs away. But if you bring them into the fold, if you create the secret club, if they are part of the storytelling, then you've got a win-win-win scenario.
So in a sense, AI can sort of make the implementation of it faster, more easier, if there's good storytelling around it.
Absolutely. It's about people management and change management, and that's where storytelling can come into the fold to do that.
And Carsten, have you seen that in your experience in the oil and gas industry?
I definitely have, and I agree with what has been said. I look at, well, any transformation needs storytelling, but significantly for AI, I see it as an intelligence. And you're bringing in a new intelligence to an organization which not only touches IT. It's not like bringing in a solution or a new piece of tech. It's bringing in a new intelligence. And therefore, it's so important that you get everyone on board.
Yeah.
And to do that, I completely agree, Reem, you need storytelling and have those win-win scenarios. You need the user stories where people feel that they get benefit from this AI. They can see themselves in it. It's not like a tech solution where you say, hey, implement this tech solution and your operating cost declines with 5%. Well, management might see that, okay, this is a good KPI, but the users won't. They need to see, how does this help me? How does this benefit my career, my development, and so on. So in that part, storytelling is critical.
And I think obviously an element of storytelling is who the audience is, who you're talking to, and obviously that's going to vary if it's an executive or an engineer or starting career in oil and gas.
Yeah.
And how important is that sort of tailoring what the storytelling is and bringing everyone along with you?
But that's stakeholder relationship management. And that's another aspect of the new frontier of marketing, right? So marketing is no longer about impressions and reach. It's about inclusion. It's about belonging. It's about influence. Storytelling plays a big part in that. But so does reputation management. So
Yeah.
does thought leadership. So does knowledge transfer. So as long as you find a way to address every stakeholder in a way that makes them look good in part of the story that you are telling, they are going to talk about you in closed rooms. And that's your reputation management working at play, right? It's not what the media says about you anymore because people are skeptical, right? They talk about earned media nowadays. Is it really earned media? There's that skepticism. But when stakeholders talk about you, it's different. And stakeholders can be from all ranks in the organization and outside. So it's also bringing them into the fold. It's also making them want to be part of that club.
Yes, and obviously, Chris, in your long career that you've had, you must have seen different ways of implementing storytelling, good, bad, medium. What have you learned over your career? What storytelling can really change to an organisation?
Well, first of all, I never touch on someone's age. But no, interestingly, I'm going to use one word, narrative. Okay, when we talk about storytelling, it's the narrative. I was having a discussion with my team today and I said, I want a simple one page that I can use when I go to the head of finance, the head of procurement, and explain what we're doing around data governance and data quality. And they gave me this one page, said, tell me the narrative. And they talked through the narrative, said, explain to me where that is depicted on this chart. And it wasn't. And they suddenly got it, the penny dropped. And the narrative, and as Reem pointed out, inclusion, as I mentioned, peeling it back, when you start talking about AI, people get scared. You need to deal with that. You need to embrace it. You need to get everyone to understand why they should embrace it. And deal with the elephant in the room. It's not going to take your job. But by understanding the value of AI and how and where to implement it, that will make you a much stronger individual and how you can then deliver value back to your organization and to your team. So the narrative of how you explain it, the how, the why, the when, and what the impacts are of not having embraced it, I think it's that narrative that's really critical.
And the use cases. So you touched about that earlier. So showing actual individuals in the organization and how they use AI to enhance their daily interactions at work makes it real.
Absolutely.
Gives them someone to go and talk to, right?
Yeah.
So it's no longer this big giant that we don't know about.
Yeah.
This person benefited and he's still here. And oh my God, he got a promotion.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be that scared. There is a transformation. People get scared of the word disruption. The board wants disruption, right?
Completely. I mean, my view is disrupt or be disrupted.
Yeah.
It's as very simple as that.
Yeah. But we need to worry about how people are scared of that
Yeah.
word. So narrative, use cases, giving them more people to go and talk to,
And empowering them.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And you need to have champions across the organization. It's not enough to just have champions at the executive level. People need to mirror themselves in champions which are closer to them in the organization. And I like to say AI will replace work, not jobs. It's your opportunity to define your new work with AI. And to your point, it is critical that that conversation, that elephant in the room is addressed. Because if people are stepping into a transformation with fear, they're not going to change.
Yeah.
They need to step into it with a feeling of opportunity and development.
And bring them along that journey.
Yes.
Yeah. Make them a founding member of the club.
Sure.
It's all about the club.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
embracing it.
Yeah, I mean, getting this buy-in, because as you said, and we know that the skepticism is out there, and it's a lot with all ages as well. You know, I'm not sure what AI is going to do. Obviously, there's the job element. So you've touched on a few points, but you know, what other ways can you get buy-in, do you think, to get the organisation and individuals into the club?
Well, there's carrot or stick. That's one way of approaching it. But in my experience, and it's been, as you mentioned, a long experience over many, many years, AI is nothing new. AI is purely about extracting new insights from data. Simple as that. So long as you find ways of demonstrating to an individual the value that they can generate from leveraging AI, get them to embrace it, get them to see how it impacts change in terms of what they're doing in their day-to-day life. It could be just something simple like in health and safety. You know, you're using AI to prevent human beings having to go into confined spaces using robotics and AI, for example. So things that really do touch on the heartstrings and deliver, doesn't have to necessarily be dollar value, but significant value to individuals.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I read a quote the other day. It basically said, if you have a people problem, you will have an even bigger AI problem. And to me, it sort of demonstrates that if you have an organization that works in silos, that is not collaborative, and you just bring in AI in those silos, then you end up enforcing those silos. And it might feel for those silos that they are being sub-optimized, but it's not for the greater good of the corporate, the organization, the culture. So for me, that always is very critical to handle. And therefore, you need projects that goes across.
And do you think energy companies are doing enough on the storytelling around AI?
I think the last statistics I saw was more than 80% of digital transformation and AI projects are failing. And I'm pretty sure that is not because of the technology. It's because of the people, the culture, which is then therefore linked to storytelling. So yeah, I don't think they're doing enough. But I don't think that's only for oil and gas. I think most industrials are challenged with managing a transformation on the people side rather than on the pure technical or
I
business
think
side.
that's a very fair statement. And you're right, it's not just in the energy industry, it's across all verticals. But the one thing that frustrates me today is I still see too many AI solutions being built, and then they're looking for the business problem to solve. We have to do it the other way around. We have to be focusing in on what's the high value, big challenges, issues you're facing as a customer, and then partner if you need to, but build the right solutions that will impact change. And the experience I've had in the last year in particular was in the organization I'm with, getting people to adopt and transition to leveraging AI. As we mentioned, it was a mindset shift. So we dealt with the elephant in the room by educating over 40,000 staff. Now, as I mentioned, AI is a journey, so we started with model-based, we started looking at generative, but now we're into agentic and looking beyond that. So we need to carry on that drumbeat of education to get them involved.
Yeah.
And what we're finding is that by allowing them, empowering them to embrace it, rather than us looking for those solutions, they're now coming to the table through their businesses and saying, I believe that AI can add value here. I believe AI will have a significant change and impact on addressing this business challenge. Mm-hmm. So we're inundated with these opportunities now that we're qualifying. And then from there, we can determine which are the ones that perhaps really don't make sense, park those, which are the ones that actually are available commercial off the shelf. We can quickly go to market. But then there's this bunch over here that there isn't something available today, but we know they're going to drive significant value. Those are the ones that we really want to focus in on and then bring on board the right partners to build those solutions.
I think one of the things to make sure people come into the fold is highlighting problems that we can solve for them, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen it in healthcare, I've seen it in education, and sometimes the problems are not so future. They're right here. We're feeling them. We're either misdiagnosing them, misinterpreting them, or just plainly ignoring them, right? And if we show them that AI can be a tool that will help address these problems and make them end up with so much more free time to do the other things that they're wanting to do, they're going to adopt it much faster than expected. So it's about coming to them from a different angle. As opposed to talking about the AI, talk about a problem, that you can now solve and you can look good doing something else. So your narrative becomes two-sided.
Yeah. I say, even if it's just a productivity tool, it
Yeah.
frees up more time. They can go and do something else.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have to wrap it up. Really enjoyed this conversation. Thanks everyone for joining. I mean, at the heart of every AI transformation is a story, and that's how we can turn, potential into progress. And hearing all of you today, there's a lot to do, but there's real progress being made, and really exciting times ahead. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you indeed.
And thanks for watching and tuning in to this Digital Energy AI Dialogues. We'll be coming with more episodes in the future. See you then.